We headed out of Cork Harbour last week to do a bit of skate fishing. Conditions were great. We had a bit of frozen bait with us, but we made a stop along the way to catch some fresh. We were using pollock, wrasse, coalfish, frozen mackerel and frozen squid. The rigs we use for the skate are made up from 250-pound mono and strong swivels. We put a sliding boom between two swivels on a length about 8 to 10 feet. And then below that, we have about 4 foot of 250-pound mono again, down to a 10-ohm meat hook.
So here I am, stuck into the first fish of the day. Now usually when you hook a skate, they'll kite in the tide, so you'll end up fighting them at the stern. But this fish was hooked on slack water, so that's the reason I ended up having to harness up on this fish, because it was heading straight for the anchor rope from the start. It took a bit of bullying at the start of the fight to get it moving up in the water, but once it was moving, it came up gradually and a little painfully at times. But it's important to keep it moving in the right direction once you do have it moving. They're not the type of fish that you can go easy on and hope that they'll tire themselves out, because they won't. Due to the shape of their body, they will use the tide. So the fish ended up fighting a bit dirty due to there being very, very slack tide at that stage. It was able to just do what it wanted and go where it wanted. So it just kept heading for the anchor rope, going in under the boat. So I had the rod in and out of the harness a couple of times. But once the fish is moving, it's just a battle of wills, really. I'm trying to keep the fish moving, trying to keep the pressure on all the time. Back is aching at this stage. Arms, they get a bit of a rest because of the harness. But as you can see, I'm still doing a fair bit of pulling and dragging. After a while, the fish decided to head back towards the bottom. I had the drag locked up, and that almost brought me to my knees. That'll come up at some stage in the fight here, alright. So things seemed to be going fairly smoothly at this stage. Gaining on the fish all the time, getting a bit of line back on the reel. And just as I started to get a bit comfortable, here's that spot I was talking about. The fish had other ideas and made one last dash to the seabed, which I managed to stop quickly enough and get it moving back up. But that was a fairly painful moment. But we struggle on. You can see the fish heading in under the boat there now again. I had to put a bit of side strain on it and trying to keep it out of the anchor. So at this stage now we were coming to the end of the fight. The fish was nearly at the surface and we had the deck cleared for landing the skate, and we had our mats in place ready to measure before release. So it turned out to be a nice common skate, a female fish of 182 centimetres long. And here is the skipper into the second fish of the day. A bit of bullying at the start of the fight again here, just to get the fish moving off the bottom. The most important part of the fight is the first couple of minutes, really. You need to put on pressure, get that fish off the bottom. Once it's moving, then it's not too bad. They will turn and strip a bit of line, trying to head back for the bottom at times. But keep the pressure on and keep the fish moving up in the water, and you will generally get the better of the fish after a while and after a bit of backache. So the tide had started running at this stage of the day again. So that fish was doing what it should and went down tide. So it was being fought off the stern of the boat. This one was landed and turned out to be a bigger fish of 212 centimetres, another fine female fish. So I'll just finish out the video now showing you a few little bits and pieces that we caught throughout the day, as well as the skate. So we had a couple of nice bull huss and some cuckoo wrasse, lovely coloured one there, nice coloured male. We had plenty of ballan wrasse and a lone specimen dogfish.